Welcome to the Whiskey Advent Calendar on the Whiskey Vault. I'm Daniel Whittington, Chancellor at Wizard Academy and Whiskey Marketing School. We're on day 2 of the Master of Malt Premium Whiskey Advent Calendar. If you're drinking along, heck yes. If you're not, here's what we're doing. I'm taking the box. I'm pulling the whiskey out of it blind. Let's see. Day 2. The whiskey is taped over, so I don't know what it is. I've got a piece of paper to tell me once I decide to know what it is. So there's the, oh no, the paper fell. Don't look. Okay. That's such a dork. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. Okay. It's taped over. I have no idea what I'm drinking. I'm going to go in blind. As always, the point of a blind assessment is to learn things, not necessarily to be correct. And I may or may not also say that because I might be wrong. And then I have to add a caveat. Not just, it is true. It is true that the point of real assessment is to, for as long as possible, mark what you're experiencing, but try as hard as you can to not come to a conclusion. So, I have no idea what these are. It's a light color. That's a good sign. That probably means that it's not a, not E150A caramel coloring. So, on the nose, and everybody has different versions of their notes. I have these pieces of paper that remind me of fundamental categories, but it's coming from the Scotch whiskey wheel that I don't know, was it McLean that did it? I need to look this up before I shoot the next video. But anyway, it's sulfury, woody, winey, cereal, fruity, floral, peaty, and fainty. And then there's subcategories. And so, for example, in the floral category, there's fragrant, greenhouse, leafy, and hay-like. And then each one of those categories has subcategories. And I find this a really helpful way to sort of double-check what I'm smelling and what I'm experiencing. I always try to go in first with nothing and not reading anything, just see what I smell. And then I start looking at this list to help jog my brain up a little bit. Ooh, man. Day 2, and I think both whiskeys are a little smoky. What an interesting approach. So this is kind of a light smoke on the nose. But there is a, not barbecue, but like a roasted note underneath that. Definitely salt water, like seawater. The sweetness is, there's a minty lifting sort of light vanilla. So think if you had vanilla in the nose, but you added a sort of, what I would describe as almost a freshness. Like that's why I said I think sea air, not salt water, but so maybe not seawater, it's sea air. But there's like a, what I would describe as almost a minty, herbal lift to the nose behind all of that smoke. And man, I'm working real hard to not come to a conclusion because I have a marker in single malt Scotch for a smoky whiskey that has this sort of fresh minty lift to the nose. And I'm already coming to a conclusion and I need to not do that because I might be wrong. I might miss things if I've already, the moment you start deciding what you're drinking, the moment your brain starts being open to possibilities. So I'm going to back off that a little bit and just see if I can convince myself it's something else. If there is a finish in this or an aging, there's a lot of vanilla, so I would argue there is bourbon cask in here, but there's also fruit that is a darker fruit, not a lighter fruit. So not quite raisin and fig, but maybe apricot. Or maybe jam, like marmalade. A denseness. There's a density to the sweetness of the fruit. And so instead of being fresh fruit, there's a kind of a heaviness to it. But still, don't discount the fact that this is smoky. It's just not screw you smoky. It's not Lafroig smoky. It's not Ardbeg smoky. It's delicate smoky. All right, I'm going to try in for the palate. And actually on the wine, there's a buttercream milk like chocolate direction that's, no, chocolate's too dark a word, that's wrong. There's a buttercream direction though. Maybe cocoa powder, but no, chocolate's the wrong direction. Nope. That's everything I just said. I'm going to try it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so son of a bitch, I think I know what this is just because it's one of my favorites, and I have a lot of markers for this one. This, I can't help but come to a conclusion on this one, and it may not be, and we don't really know. So, that palate is medicinal. It is creosol and seaweed, but it's not strong. It's still delicate, soft, and then there's this vanilla cream with a hint of mint, herbal mint, lifting the palate. So I'd say the nose and the palate almost identical. It is a little vibrant on the palate finish. It just sort of lingers in honey sweetness with a little bit of an ashy aftertaste. And it's really fun, and it's good. And it feels a little young. It feels a little bright. As I come back to the nose now, that smoky, wooden, briny note is a little stronger. It's a little brash. So I would say we're probably in the, again, I'm going to do a wide window, but somewhere in the 8 to 12 region. It doesn't feel like it's got a lot of weight to it, but it doesn't feel so young that I'm tasting. So what I mean by that is under 8 years old for me in Scotch, and I think we're in Scotch, the cereal notes of barley are a lot stronger. And you get, if you know new make pot still barley, there's these new makey notes that are just still present. This one, those new makey notes are not very strong, but it is still very light and vibrant, and woo, there's a lot going on. As you get 16 plus, I find that things sort of soften and just sort of all the rough edges are sanded off, and I'm not getting that. This one's a little bit like dancing around. So I'm going to argue this is probably the 8 to 12. I would say 10, 11 years old, maybe 10. So that if so, then this is distillery. This is a special edition that we're getting. I think what we have here, I'm going to say, is an Islay malt around 10. And man, if my markers are right, I think this is Lagavulin. Don't be wrong, don't be wrong, don't be wrong. Ha ha! It's Lagavulin. The unveiling is Lagavulin 12-year-old. I was close, it's not 10, it's 12. But it is young. Special release, is that one of the Offerman releases maybe? So Lagavulin 12, what's the proof? Special release. I know I've got 56.4. Woo, dog! Yeah, it tastes like it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to find the Lagavulin that I have. Hang on a second. Oh, here we go. 11, all I have is the 11s. I'm going to do, this is an older one. The Offerman edition, that is not the charred oak, because I didn't want the charred oak to, I'm going to see if I can get as close as I can. So this is from, Marquez Di Napoli donated this bottle when we reviewed it. There's still that much left. This is an 11-year-old Offerman edition. Oh, I already pulled a glass over here. So let's see how the 11 and the 12 side by side, what do we get? And this one is 46%. Again, we're comparing to a much lower proof one, but what are you going to do? Oh man, the longer that sits, the smokier it gets on the Advent Calendar one. The 11 on this one, way more minty, herbal. I could almost argue a chocolate-covered like peppermint patty. It's so minty. But then there's smoke to the nose on the Offerman edition. Oh, yeah, it's this one sort of much softer, just like what we did yesterday. It's just a gentler, softer approach to everything that we were just experiencing. It's a good nose. Man, okay, again, if I had to pick, I'm going to pick the Advent Calendar edition, even though it's high proof. We're getting our bang for our buck. I would add water, but I don't want to. I guess we could, but yeah. Okay, sweet. Okay, this is bad, guys, because I've gotten close to figuring out, or if not landing on 2 of them, hopefully 3 doesn't totally screw me and throw me off, but we'll see. This is fun. I hope this is fun for you too. Cheers to you. Happy second day of December. I'm really glad you're here. Cheers.